As they drove back toward Tino's, Maniac's fingers drummed against his knee, his eyes narrowing. He was thinking through every angle, every possible reason Slick might have lied. Maybe it was fear. Slick knew what they were capable of. Or maybe it was loyalty to Sondo, who always seemed to be 2 steps ahead of them. But whatever the reason, Maniac was done playing games. Slick would pay, and after him, Sondo was next. They pulled up outside Tino's spot, a dimly lit dive that never seemed to close. Maniac and Psycho stepped out of the car, each of them radiating menace as they entered the bar. The patrons went quiet, eyes shifting as the 2 detectives scanned the room. It was clear they weren't there for drinks or small talk. "Where's Slick?" Maniac barked, his voice cutting through the silence. A few of the guys at the bar exchanged nervous glances, but no one answered. Psycho's face twisted into a scowl as he stepped forward, slamming his hand on the bar. "We asked a question," he said, his tone deadly. "You don't want us to ask twice." One of the older guys at the back finally spoke up, his voice shaky. I heard he was headed to the old rail yard. Got some business out that way." Psycho turned to Maniac, a cruel grin spreading across his face. "See? Wasn't so hard to get some answers after all." Maniac smirked, nodding his thanks with a mock courtesy that did nothing to hide the threat in his gaze. "Good looking out," he said, already turning to leave. "Let's hope Slick's still there." They left the bar with renewed purpose, the night stretching out before them like a dark promise. Slick had thought he could play them, send them on a dead-end chase. But now they were on his trail, and this time they weren't stopping until he paid for the lie with every last drop of blood. Meanwhile, as the tension of their meeting settled, Slick and Sondo walked together through the shadows of the rail yard. They kept their voices low, each man wrapped in his own thoughts. Slick's gaze flicked over to Sondo, his eyes darting with a mix of calculation and uncertainty. He wasn't sure if Sondo had believed every word he'd told him about Remy's stash. He'd given him the lead on the old auto shop, but he'd held back the real story. Now, with Sondo satisfied, for now, Slick had his own plans. At the edge of the rail yard, they stopped, the distant hum of the city murmuring around them. "You're going to check the spot, right?" Slick asked, his tone casual, but his eyes sharp. "Yeah," Sondo replied, nodding. "If what you said is true, I'll find what Remy left behind. But if you're lying, Slick, don't think I won't come looking." Slick forced a grin, putting his hands up in mock surrender. "Come on, man. We go way back. I told you everything I know." Sondo's eyes narrowed, scanning Slick's face, before he gave a slow nod. "All right, then. Guess we'll see." They shared a quick, uneasy handshake, then parted ways, each man moving in opposite directions. Sondo headed toward his car, ready to make his way to the old auto shop Slick had mentioned. He was determined to uncover whatever Remy had left behind and use it to stay a step ahead of the cops, the rival crews, and anyone else looking to take his cut. Slick watched him go, his fingers tapping against his thigh as he waited for Sondo's taillights to fade into the distance. The moment they were gone, Slick let out a slow breath, his grin turning into a sly smirk. He'd given Sondo just enough to keep him occupied, to buy himself time. Turning on his heel, Slick made his way to his own car. He'd been planning this move for weeks, stashing away enough cash to get out of town. And now, with Remy out of the picture and Sondo distracted, he could finally make his escape. His destination? The island, a place where people could vanish, where even the dirtiest cops wouldn't dare look for him. As he slipped behind the wheel, Slick's phone buzzed in his pocket. He glanced down at the screen, a message from a contact he'd kept off the radar, someone who owed him a few favors. "Everything's ready. You got an hour." Slick chuckled, tucking the phone away as he started the engine. Tonight was his night, and by the time anyone realized he was gone, he'd be halfway to the island with a clean start. No more ducking dirty cops or watching his back. Sondo could have whatever was left in that stash. Slick didn't care. He was done with New Haven, with all its ghosts, and he was headed for a fresh beginning. As he drove off into the night, Slick felt a rare sense of relief. For once, the past was truly behind him, and as far as he was concerned, the future looked wide open.
I'm just trying to hit another lick and put my dogs on. Free my niggas till I see my niggas, cause we all wrong. Pour a lick and roll another with you, this my song, y'all. Funerals, I just miss my dudes that I could call on.